Boy, do I have a hell of a lot to say about this week's episode of Terra Formars, episode 2. Where do I even begin? Honestly, this is just like one of those reviews where I am so conflicted and torn on what to say, and let's just jump into it, fuck it. For starters, we got the opening and ending this week. The opening, the visuals, they look pretty cool. I don't really care for the song, to be honest with you. The ending, I really like the song. Don't really care for the visuals because it's just like some 3D cockroach or something like that. So kind of if they would have switched the two, give me the ending song and put it with the opening visuals, we have a great opening right there. So that's my thoughts regarding the opening and ending thus far. This was just my first time listening to it. Things change. Maybe by the end of the series, I'll absolutely love them. But as of right now, those are my raw initial impression on the opening and ending. So the first 15 minutes of this episode was build-up. It was a lot of getting more characterization from each and every person, learning a little bit more about them, making them more likable because we know that they're headed for utter destruction, and kind of getting into their minds and building relationships so later on when things go down, these characters will act in a certain way that has been characterized earlier on. For starters, we learned that Sheila really likes Komachi, or Shokichi, you know, that's his name, Komachi Shokichi. She pretty much really has a thing for him, and everybody sees it, and everybody laughs about it. So we were getting more of a friendly atmosphere and kind of seeing how everyone knows about this thing, and I'd imagine that's going to have a big play, and later on, maybe if she confesses her feelings to him and Shokichi loses her. This is me all making some sort of weird connections of what I think might happen later on. Again, I've only read the first volume of the things prior to this, so I don't know anything of what's going to happen, but I'm imagining these are time connections. And we also got a little bit more of the characterization of Shokichi, and as of right now, as it stands with all the characters we've seen, he's hands down my favorite. He feels like one of those vets that, you know, he's been through it and he's damaged. He even admitted it. He goes to a specific spot to cry because he's just so fucked up. And do you blame him? Can you blame him? I couldn't even fathom the things that he's seen on Mars with all these roaches and everything, and seeing his girlfriend right before his eyes get her neck snapped. So definitely it's good to see that at the, well, it's not good, but you know, as far as characterization wise, you can definitely see that he was affected by the events greatly from Bugs 2 and the OVA stuff, the things that happened prior to this 20 years ago. Another character we got a little bit of a closer look at was Ava, or Eva. Pretty much this chick is terrified, and then you got this Adolf guy, which he kind of seems like a little bit of a freak guy, putting fear into everyone and telling everyone, find out what your inner deepest fear is. So we got a little bit more of characterization of everyone. For the first 15 minutes, it was for the most part alright, chill. It was kind of like, I understand that we're building up and everything, but it was just kind of a little bit like, oh, if this was all that the episode had to offer, I was going to come in here and say maybe 5 or 6 or something like that out of 10, because it just felt like mainly build up and just comedy and stuff like that. But at that 15-minute mark, this episode literally flipped on top of its own damn head. I was like, what the fuck? First of all, where in the blue fuck did all these roaches come from? All of a sudden, it's not one, it's not two. There looks like there is multiple roaches, and the only thing I could think of is, first of all, we got that little scene in the bar with that engineer from the previous Bugs. I believe he was from either Bugs 1 or Bugs 2. I think Bugs 2, and kind of like him being questioned and everything. Maybe he has some sort of connection to it or something like that, because other than that, where the fuck could all of these roaches come from, and where were they hiding this entire time if they all of a sudden are busting out? It's making me wonder, like, is there some sort of traitor amongst humanity that wants to see humanity burn? And it was just a great twist, honestly. Like, the build-up, the first 15 minutes, while you're watching it, you're probably thinking, this is slow, this isn't what I signed up for. But once you actually experience what happens at the 15-minute mark, where all the roaches show up and everything, it makes those 15 minutes very valuable. And another thing I noticed as well is, obviously, the roaches are intelligent. When they're going for the medicine and they're breaking all the medicine and everything, it's like, how did they get so intelligent? I'm sure there might be some sort of connection to the roach that they had when they showed they had one of them tied up. Maybe this roach was able to shit out eggs or something, because if they're that intelligent, either they've been around humans for a while or they've been studying or something. Something is definitely up for them to be able to know that this medicine thing will help them to defeat the roaches. So a lot of crazy shit going on, especially if you know what happened in the OVAs, comparing those roaches to these ones. It's like, whoa. But here's another thing that conflicts me. So it's like, okay, the first 15 minutes character build up, then it gets crazy and absolute chaos ensues, and it's like, holy shit, we got huge progression into the fight with the roaches already. And then we get censorship. And in all honesty, the censorship is disgusting. Tokyo Ghoul, the anime that I reviewed prior to this, did not have nowhere near the amount of censoring that this has. I mean, black bars everywhere, and I'm trying to enjoy the craziness and chaos, and it's not that, you know, I just thrive inside of seeing murder and blood and everything. It's the simple fact that when something is going on, I can't even tell half the time what's happening when there's a giant black bar that is covering all the way. Like, just imagine right here, there's a black bar covering everything. You're gonna be like, what the fuck? Likewise with this, absolutely disgusting censorship. And it's like, okay, so we get great build-up, great characterization, getting to kind of feel these characters out. Huge plot twist at 15, and I don't want to say great, maybe okay, good character build-up. Then we get this huge plot twist, kind of all the Roaches, the progression into the fight with them already starting, but then there's censorship on top of all of it. The best thing I can say is, at the very least, this is not going to be an issue when the Blu-rays and DVDs come out, but nonetheless, as far as the experience I had watching this episode, it was fucking annoying and ridiculous. And that's where this is the first time ever where this review, I'm going to have to give it a score of inconclusive. I don't know what to give this, because on one half, it was kind of slow in the beginning, giving character build-up. Then we had amazing plot twists, but then it was riddled with censorship. So where do I go from here with a review? Like, what do I say? So in that aspect, where do I go with this review? What do I say when it's like, I'm kind of disappointed in certain areas, but at the same time, some of these problems will be fixed in a future release and Blu-rays with the censorship. So it's like, I'm at a loss. Inconclusive for this week's score. On one half, I want to give it an 8 out of 10 because of the build-up, learning everyone's character, and then the huge plot twist and all the crazy action, the gore, the violence, and everything. It was just a very good episode in that sense. On another half, I'm like, okay, it was kind of slow up until the 15-minute mark, and then the censorship was ridiculous. So maybe a 5 or a 6. So, like, as of right now, yeah, inconclusive. I don't know what to say. This episode kind of fucked with my mind a bit. And then in the end, basically them saying this mission is already a failure. Like, damn, Terra Formars right now is picking up in a major way. I was a little bit skeptical with episode 2, and to be honest with you, I think that the episode count and the censorship is what's going to stop this series from becoming the next Attack on Titan. But as far as like enjoyability goes, and as far as like building things up, it's doing it pretty quick and in a really crazy way. It's just, fuck the censorship. Whoever decided to censor these episodes, here's for you, mate. But let me know what your take is on all this. What do you think about the build-up for the first 15 minutes? What do you think about the plot twist? And why are these Roaches so goddamn smart that they're able to invade the medicine cabinet and get rid of all this before the humans can attack them? Is this some sort of invasion of cockroaches versus humanity? Or is there a traitor in the midst? And what do you think about that censorship? Like, I mean, I've reviewed series that had censorship and I could look past it simply because the censorship maybe wasn't that bad, or they kind of did it in a different way, but the censorship in this one was just flat out disgusting and annoying, a pain in the ass. And your overall thoughts of this episode. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.